Somebody in my Element group posted this picture of Tyson Fury. It's apparently recent. I can't confirm that, but this is the claim that it's a recent picture of Tyson Fury. And people are speculating that he's going to come in around the 260s, which is a lot lighter than he's been in recent fights, based upon how he looks here. Personally, I'm not willing to jump to that conclusion just yet, because they say the camera never lies. It actually does, particularly when it comes to camera angles, perspective, and so on. I mean, a few years ago, Andy Ruiz was the absolute king of catfishing by using different camera angles to make himself look like he'd lost a load of weight. Then he'd turn up on the scales and it'd be as heavy as ever, sometimes heavier than ever. In fact, there was a picture that Andy Ruiz posted in the lead up to the AJ rematch that made him look like he was a lot lighter than he was for the first fight. And he actually turned up much heavier. Okay, so the camera does lie. You have to be careful with different angles. Now, I'm not saying that Tyson Fury isn't lighter than he's been in recent fights. I'm not saying that he isn't going to come in the 260s. I'm just saying that, me personally, I don't want to jump to that conclusion just yet, because camera angles can be very deceiving. And in this particular instance, Tyson Fury is laid down. So when you're laid down like that, the fat, right, that you have around your midriff can sink to the sides and to the back. And of course, his feet are closer to the camera than his midriff is. So again, that's going to throw off the perspective. You're going to think that the midriff is smaller than it actually is in relation to the feet and the legs. So I'd like to see a picture of, in fact, preferable to a picture, I'd like to see video of Tyson Fury standing up. Then we'll see what he actually looks like. Then we'll be able to make a realistic assessment, a realistic prediction of how heavy he's going to come in or how light he's going to come in for this Dillian Whyte fight. So I've been thinking for a while about what tactics Tyson Fury will use here. And I thought that the, not necessarily most obvious, but the most sensible tactics for me would be to just move around and force Dillian Whyte to come forward, because Dillian Whyte is not, contrary to what people say and comparing Dillian Whyte to Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is an out-and-out pressure fighter. Dillian Whyte is not. Dillian Whyte is a boxer puncher. He's actually not as good at coming forward and just out-and-out attacking as Derek Chisora is. He doesn't have a skill set that has developed as much as Derek Chisora's skill set to do that specific thing. Come forward, duck underneath shots, come upstairs with hooks. He hasn't developed that particular skill, that particular ability to the degree that Chisora has. His other abilities are developed far beyond Chisora. His counter-punching, fighting on the back foot, etc., etc. That's where Dillian Whyte is far better than Chisora. But in terms of the pressure fighting, no, Chisora's a better pressure fighter than Dillian Whyte. Okay, so I thought that the most logical thing for Tyson Fury to do would then be to use that area that Dillian Whyte is not a specialist in, which is pressure fighting, against him. Force Dillian Whyte to come forward. Force Dillian Whyte to come looking for Tyson Fury. Force Dillian Whyte to throw shots and throw himself off balance, etc., so Tyson Fury can counter him, so Tyson Fury can wear him down, so he can hit him with a jab, so he can ping him with counters coming in. You see it? The only caveat I'll add is that Dillian Whyte has a better jab than Derek Chisora. So when Dillian Whyte's coming forward, he's not just bobbing and weaving and looking for hooks and stuff like that. He's more conservative with what he's doing, generally speaking. Derek Chisora is just on smoke. He's bobbing and weaving, coming forward, he's looking to hit you big overhand rights and left hooks. Dillian Whyte is coming in behind the jab. He's jabbing, he's jabbing, he's jabbing. He's trying to maneuver you in a slower way than Derek Chisora into a position where he can get close enough to start unloading. And that jab might be an issue for Tyson Fury, even if he moves back, although Tyson Fury does have the longer arms, the longer reach than Dillian Whyte, so he should still be able to handle that. But if there's one thing that Dillian Whyte has coming forward that Derek Chisora didn't have, it's that jab. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below about how Tyson Fury looks here. Are you, like me, a bit cautious in terms of declaring that he's lost loads of weight and he's going to come in at 2? Again, that might be true, but judging on pictures I've seen in the past of other fighters, I don't want to jump to that conclusion just yet, because the camera angles can mess you up and it can make you think that somebody's a lot lighter than they actually are. You got these boxers catfishing the public out here. So I'd like to see actual video footage of Tyson Fury before I say, okay, yeah, he's going to come in the 260s. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And also, do you think it's a good thing for Tyson Fury to be coming in as light as, let's say, the 260s for this fight against Dillian Whyte? Or do you actually think that it's better for him to be a similar weight to what he was in, let's say, the Wilder rematch or the Wilder trilogy fight? Let me know what you think about that and why. Explain why. If you think he's better heavier, tell me why. Is it because of strength? Do you think he drains himself too much to get down to 260, 250? Do you think that will play into Dillian Whyte's hands? Do you think he needs to be more physical against the guy who's very rough like Dillian Whyte and needs to have the extra weight to be able to, tie him up and calm him down? Do you think that if he comes in 260, he's going to be easier for Dillian Whyte to actually rough up on the inside? These are all the questions I'd like you guys to answer. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. If you're tired of the biased narratives and mass censorship on mainstream platforms, and you want to be part of a community of critical thinkers who love free speech just as much as you do, then come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide variety of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&As, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got an Element group where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. Unlike Discord, it has full end-to-end encryption, is decentralized, and it's 100% censorship free. You can also send voice notes as well as much larger audio and video files than you can on Discord. So come and sign up on Patreon. There's no contract, there's no commitment. You can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. So I'll see you over there. I'm out.